actually listen to your community and fix the game. Or draw 25 cards. Okay, I know this wasn't like a video meme, but it was just too funny, and I couldn't resist to show it off. And it was by somebody in my Discord server called a Turbo Propeller Plane. He comes up with these hilarious memes constantly, and yeah, it's pretty funny. And I'm wondering if you guys want to see like a console meme review sometime, where I look at a bunch of memes that people have made based on World of Tanks console. Let me know in the comments below, and then let's also get into this video. So you're probably clicking on this video wondering to yourself, what exactly is the Manticore theory? Right? You're like, okay, Clone Guy's talking about the Manticore theory. What is that? What is that? Well, I get asked constantly in my comment section, in my live streams, on Xbox messages, constantly, Clone, when are the wheeled vehicles coming? When are the Swedish mediums coming? It's like, I don't know. I don't work at Wargaming. They don't tell me anything anymore. They don't like me, remember? So I'm as clueless as you are. However, I do like to think a little bit, more than the average person, I think. Maybe. I'm thinking that, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? And because of this thinking, I thought to myself, thinkingly, I don't think the wheeled vehicles or the Swedish mediums, are coming next. I think it's going to be the British light tanks, the Manticore. And I think they're going to be coming sometime in February, probably for the 6-year anniversary. Specifically, February 11th is when I think they're going to be coming out. Okay? That's my prediction. And then you're thinking to yourself, why on earth would you think it's going to be the Manticore, since that's the most recent tank branch in World of Tanks PC? Why would they come out with that when the wheeled vehicles have been in the game for over a year, and the Swedish mediums have been in the game for almost a year now? The British lights are new on PC. They're only 3 or 4 months old. So why would those be the next tanks to be introduced? Well, it's quite simple. World of Tanks Mercenaries has been introducing tanks earlier than usual as of recent. For instance, the Chinese tank destroyers were introduced just 3 months after they got introduced. The French super heavies got introduced 4 months after they got introduced. The Italians and the Polish got introduced just 4 or 5 months after they got introduced on PC as well. So they keep introducing things a little bit earlier than normal. And so that's why I think that they will definitely be coming in sooner rather than later. So then you're asking yourself, so then why haven't the wheeled vehicles come in yet? Well, that's because the servers can't handle them. We all know that the PCs, or the console servers, lag really, really bad as is, right? They lag bad. Like, this is the only game where my internet just drops randomly. It's like, why? It doesn't happen when I'm playing Battlefront 2. It doesn't happen on my PC. I've asked my brother about it. He says it doesn't happen when he's playing, and we use the same internet. It only ever happens on World of Tanks console, specifically. So there's some kind of lag going on their end, and so I don't think their servers would be able to handle the wheeled tanks, nor do I think the Xbox 360 would be able to handle it. So I don't think those are going to be coming in anytime soon. Next are the Swedish mediums. You have to remember that Wargaming console are very, very lazy. We've learned this. They like to introduce reskins. They don't like to do new things. If it's already in the game, they want to re-release it. Simple as that. The medium tanks will have a new siege mechanic. Kind of like the tank destroyers, but automated. And yeah, that's going to be quite different from what, we're used to. And they're going to have to insert new code to implement the siege mechanics. And we know the developers are not very good with code, because update 4.12 says it all. They broke aiming. They broke matchmaking. They made ghost shells even more prominent. And the list goes on. There's so many bugs in 4.12. Like, your gun won't shoot sometimes. When you get ammo racked, you have to reload again. It's bad. Okay, update 4.12 just attests to the fact that they're really, really bad at coding. Therefore, I don't think they're going to be doing Swedish medium tanks next either, because they're going to have to hire some outside help, considering they fired all their good coders back when they merged the East and the West servers into the Central server. And they got rid of half their staff. They got rid of all the good guys who were good at what they did, and they kept all the bad employees who didn't know what they were doing. So that's why I think that the Swedish mediums are not going to be next either. So that leaves the light tanks. The British light tanks. Those would be easy to implement. You just need the skins. The guns are very similar to what they already have. There's no special mechanics they have. It's just simple. Just, you know, spend the last... and they can copy-paste from PC. They can take the HD versions, or not even the HD versions, slightly less than HD textures, because PC already has all these textures. They can copy them over and paste them. It is super, super simple, and same with the statistics. They can do the same thing, copy-paste. But they're not going to. We all know that they're going to be implemented into this game, probably nerfed. And on top of my Manticore theory, I'm sure you guys want to know, okay, exactly what are they going to do to the Manticore, and specifically the tier 10. I don't really care about the tier 8 and 9. I'm sure those will get touched and nerfed as well. But for now, we're just going to talk about the tier 10 and try to figure out exactly what they're going to do to it to nerf it. So let's get into that now. Over on tanks.gg, we're able to see exactly how well the Manticore is doing on PC. And as you can see right here, it has a 53.61% win rate and a 30.11% survival rate. That's a little bit high, for sure. And extrapolating some data, we can figure out that they'll probably want to get this thing down to a 25% survival rate and a 50% win rate. This means they're probably going to want to nerf the tank by 8.72%. Ooh, 8.72%. I mean, that's not terrible considering they nerfed the Italian tech tree by 27%. 8.72 isn't much. But, wait, isn't the Manticore already famous for being bad? Just combing over the stats on PC, you'll see that it has the worst DPM. In fact, it has the worst DPM by 500, nearly 500 DPM. But it does have the best penetration of 248. And 390 Alpha isn't really special, but it is up there with the Sheridan and also the WZ1321, though I don't have that on the list because that's been changed so much since it's come to console. It's been nerfed. Would have thought. It's the worst rate of fire, of course. Obviously, because its DPM is 1600 for a tier 10, and it carries 20 rounds. Oof, it also has the slowest shell velocity. It also has pretty bad aim time when you consider everything. 1.9 seconds when you compare it to the T100 LT, which has 2 seconds, or the Sheridan, which is 1.7, or the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen, which has 1.6. So that's not special either. And the only of these light tanks at tier 10 that has a worse aim time is the T100 LT, but we all know that thing's gun bloom doesn't get any bigger. Its moving dispersion only adds 0.06. Its tank traverse dispersion only adds 0.06. Meanwhile, the Manticore's adds 0.16 to both of those. So it's gonna be worse in class in regards to aiming as well. And now you're like, whoa, Clone, I think you're jumping the gun a little bit here. I mean, this hasn't even been announced. Like, do we even know for sure that this tank is coming into the game anytime soon? Well, no, we don't. But this is a theory video, and I want to do more of these because I think this is kind of fun. We'll get to compare just how close we can get with our theories, and if we can predict Wargaming, and if they do have any patterns, you know, that we can figure out. So this is kind of fun. I'm enjoying this. But we haven't got to the nerfs yet. So we know they want to nerf it probably by 8.72%. So what exactly are they going to do to get it down to that, you know, magical 50% win rate and magical 25% survival rate? Because we all know, remember, they nerfed the E50M just for having the best survival rate of the mediums. Duh, it has the most armor and the most health at the time, so of course, you know, it's going to have the best survival rate. Remember, there is going to be a tank which has the best survival rate in the game. There's going to be a tank that has the best win rate in the game. There is going to be a tank that has the best damage per game. It's just how it works. This is just... it's going to be, there's always going to be a top tank. You don't need to nerf a tank just because it's at the top of one of these categories. That might be its specialty. For instance, the E50M specialty was, you know, its survival rate. And then they nerf its DPM to kind of kill its survival rate. I don't know how that works, but okay, sure, fine. 30B was winning like the most games, but that's because only good players are playing it. So they nerfed it to oblivion. And this tank is, on PC, doing pretty well for itself, not in regards to damage, but in regards to winning games and surviving. And so I think it's going to, well, get nerfed. And the interesting about this is the fact that Wargaming Console has said that this is not... Wargaming Mercenaries is not World of Tanks PC, okay? World of Tanks Mercenaries is not World of Tanks PC. That's what I'm trying to say. So they don't like doing anything based on PC. However, whenever they introduce a tank, they always nerf it from how well it's doing on PC. Therefore, they do consider themselves the same game. Because if you're taking numbers from PC into account and then translating over to console, you're copying them. And yeah, that's literally being the same game, I guess, except being more extreme. You're in a more extremist version of World of Tanks PC. What they should do is introduce the tank really, really good, so people want to grind it, people want to get it. There is a reason for power creep in this game, in any game, is so that, you know, players want to get it, players want to move on, players want that new tank, and it helps your company, it helps your game grow, even if it is a little bit annoying. But then you nerf it down the line, you know, hey, you know what, this tank is doing way too well for itself, we're going to nerf it like 3 months in, 6 months in, whatever, because right now it's doing way too well. That's a good way of doing things. Another good way of doing things is not basing it off of PC, and not using your dumb super test, which you have 4 tanks go up against another 4 tanks, and they're all identical. How do you test a tank like that? I have no idea. I really do not know. Another way to do it is throw them into the War Stories. You know, play some War Stories games. That shot was lucky. Play some War Stories. You know, throw them into War Stories. Anybody can use these tanks. Hey, these tanks are coming out in about a month or 3 months. We're going to put them into War Stories. You can try them out. Test them. You know, play a tank before you play these ones so that you can gauge yourself. Okay, like I did this well on this War Story map with my E5. So now they're coming out with a 60 TP, which has already been released. But we'll just pretend it hasn't been released yet. You go into the War Stories, you play 60 TP. How much better did I do in the 60 TP than I did in the E5? And then leave your feedback in the forums or something like that if you haven't been banned already for mentioning me. So you could do that. But no, they don't do that. Instead, they have a super test program, which doesn't even work realistically, because how did the Object 279E get into the game? I don't know. But anyway, now that we've spieled our spiel, let's talk about exactly what they're going to do to the tank, because I'm sure you guys are really interested in that. Like, okay, what are they going to do? What part of the tanks, should I say, are they going to nerf? Luckily for you guys, I've done the math for you. So here are the stats. PC stats are going to be in black. The console stats are going to be in red. They will be either to the right or to the left, depending where I could fit them. But this is what they're going to do. The DPM is going to get nerfed from 1671.43 down to 1528.8, which isn't a terrible nerf considering what they did to the Italian tanks. But this is just my prediction. I'm being a little bit generous. I don't think they're going to nerf it as much as they did to the Italians, but I could be completely wrong. This, of course, means if the DPM is nerfed, so is the rate of fire. The rate of fire is going to nerf from 4.29 rounds a minute to 3.92, and the reload time is going to nerf from 14 seconds to 15.31 on a 390 alpha damage gun at tier 10. The aim time is going to get nerfed from 1.9 seconds to 2.1, and the dispersion is going to get nerfed from 0.38 to 0.4. Oof, yeah. The top speed of the tank is going to nerf from 68 kilometers an hour to 65 kilometers an hour. The engine power is going to nerf from 530 horsepower to 480 horsepower, meaning the power to weight is going to go from 42.74 horsepower per ton to 38.7 horsepower per ton. The tank traverse is going to get nerfed from 45 to 43, which will of course affect the effective traverse down to probably about 41, 35, and 20 on hard, medium, and soft. And finally, the turret traverse will get nerfed from 40 degrees a second down to 38. Nothing else will get changed. But this is still about an 8% nerf to the tank. Will this come to be? Is this what they have planned in the future for the Manticore, for World of Tanks Mercenaries? Is this going to be coming in February for the 6-year anniversary? A nerfed Manticore, which is already considered to be one of the worst tanks at tier 10 on PC? Only time will tell, but I think it's fairly certain, fairly clear that the tank will get nerfed before it gets introduced. It's just a matter of when will it get introduced. Because if you think about it, the French Super Heavies that just got introduced about a year ago got nerfed. Then you take the 60 TP, the Polish Heavies. They got nerfed. The Italian Mediums infamously got nerfed. Those were terrible. My gosh, they still are. Those are bad. And that's not even including tanks that are already in the game that's been nerfed. The AMX-30B got nerfed to oblivion. The Stridsvagn 103B got nerfed really hardcore. The Badger, when they introduced it, got nerfed really, really bad. And the list goes on. The WZ-1321, which we've already mentioned, got nerfed. The AMX-13105 got nerfed, but that one got nerfed after the fact. And that one was a little bit more reasonable, in my opinion. Its reload got nerfed by like 3 seconds on the magazine reload, and that was about it. And I still think that the tank plays fine. So that one was a little bit more reasonable because they nerfed it after the fact, which is a better way to do things, in my opinion. What else got nerfed? Well, a lot of other things got nerfed. K91, nerfed. really badly. In fact, people don't even realize that tank is even in the game because nobody ever plays it. K91 got nerfed. Object 705A got nerfed. But that thing's, I think, okay nerfed. That was a more justified nerf, but it's still, you know, like, gosh darn, can't believe you nerfed it. You know, T95, which we're fighting currently, got its accuracy nerfed. But why? Because they don't like seeing this tank sniping in the back? Well, of course it's sniping and can't get to the fight any faster. You know, it's like, oh, well, it's like this guy we're fighting. He probably couldn't make it to the top of the hill before the game was over, honestly. So he's down here, sniping away, which is probably the best thing to do for him, in reality. So, that's what he's decided to do, which is fine. But you know what? Let's nerf it. So they did. They nerfed it. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other tanks I'm missing right now that have been nerfed, which just aren't coming to mind. But they're everywhere. Because update 4.6, they nerfed 208 vehicles. 208 vehicles. Some of them they said, oh, they were just changes, quote-unquote changes. But in reality, no, they were nerfs. Okay? That's what they call nerfs. Now that shot right there, I was hoping to get him to poke out because my reload was fast. And I knew I could reload in time and hopefully track him. But it is what it is. We get to his side. We're going to put a shell into his drive wheel. No, we change our mind. He's turning the wrong way. And he gets finished off by the Wolf Panzer IV. And he dies. So that's that. He's dead. But yeah, that's the Manticore theory, guys. Let me know what you think. You want to see more theory videos? I kind of want to do more theory videos, just theorize what's coming next. And we'll just see how close we get to this theory. And if we're really close or decently close, I think I'm going to probably make some more of these, just depending how close we get. So, there's that. But that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, make sure you slap that like button. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Do you think the Manticore is going to get nerfed? And if it is, are you going to be grinding one? And make sure you go check out SpaceBANDIT's YouTube's links in the description below. And I'll see you guys all later. Take care, everyone, and peace out.